Bob Cusack is editor-in-chief of The Hill, and he joins us from Washington. Good to see you again, Bob.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So with Cruz leading in Texas, what is going to be the strategy for Donald Trump tonight? Presumably he has to go after Ted Cruz.
Yeah, and I think Ted Cruz and Rubio really have to throw the kitchen sink at Donald Trump. This is, I think, their last chance to put any type of dent into Trump. Cruz is doing well, as you guys talked about, in Texas, but he has to win Texas. And Rubio has to win Florida. Rubio has won no states. So he is going to, and he's not winning in any state right now. So he is going to have a great debate. Cruz is going to have to be a great debate. I think Trump's strategy is not to let the others touch his buttons. He got a little emotional in the last debate in South Carolina. I don't think he's going to be as emotional because he just wants to avoid any type of gaffe. He's winning in most of Super Tuesday states, so it's a matter of staying the course, trying to stay on top.
You know, we mentioned that Quinnipiac poll earlier showing Trump beating Rubio in the home state of Florida, 44-28. So, geez, this is really bad for Rubio.
It is bad, Christine, and I think the key question is will Jeb Bush get behind Marco Rubio before the Florida primary? I think it's an open question. They obviously went at each other repeatedly on the campaign trail, but Jeb Bush doesn't like Donald Trump. He's not a huge fan of Rubio now, but I think there's a chance that Jeb, because he wants to derail Trump, that maybe he'll get behind his Florida colleague.
Bob, the interesting thing, though, is that even if he needs to win on March 15th, there are already 220,000 people that have voted via absentee ballot. Now, a Rubio advisor tweeted out today, media needs to chill. The FLQ poll numbers are way wrong. We are going to win Florida, period. Take it to the bank. But, I mean, when you've got 220,000 people, what it means to me is that Donald Trump is banking votes every day.
Well, let me remind you of a quote that Jeb Bush said last fall. He said, "I'm going to win South Carolina. Take it to the bank." He did not come close, and now he's out of the race. So they have to win Florida. They know it. They've been consistently behind. If you look at every poll, and Trump has been talking about it for months, is that Trump is winning in Florida. So there is no doubt about it that I think that Rubio and Cruz have to be very aggressive tonight in the debate, but they can't be too aggressive. They don't want to look desperate, and I think Trump is probably going to be calling them desperate because that's what he did against Jeb Bush when Jeb kept going further and further out on the debate stage, meaning that he was dropping and dropping in the polls. So certainly, the Washington establishment is starting to come to grips that Trump is the likely Republican nominee. Still, there's a long way to go, but if Trump does very well on Tuesday, then he's going to really tighten his grip on this thing.
Hypothetically speaking, Bob, if Carson and Cusack drop out, which candidate seeks to gain there?
I think that we were talking about this in the office of who Carson would endorse, and I think that if he endorses anybody, he would endorse Trump. They seem to have an alliance. They went at each other a little bit, but overall that they get along. I think the key for someone not named Donald Trump to win the nomination is that we've got to get to a two-person race. And whether that's Cruz versus Trump or whether that's Rubio versus Trump, I think if we're in a 3 or even 4-person race, I just don't think we're getting too late in the game. And Team Rubio and Team Cruz know that, and that's why tonight is going to be very spirited.
Bob, let's talk about Mitt Romney. We haven't done that in a while, but Mitt is back in the news today. Listen to what he told Fox News about Donald Trump.
Frankly, I think we have good reason to believe that there's a bombshell in Donald Trump's taxes.
What do you mean?
Well, I think there's something there. Either he's not anywhere near as wealthy as he says he is, or he hasn't been paying the kind of taxes we would expect him to pay, or perhaps he hasn't been giving money to the vets or to the disabled like he's been telling us he's been doing. And I think that's the reason that I think that there's a bombshell in there is because every time he's asked about his taxes, he dodges and delays and says, well, we're working on it. Frankly, the voters have a right to see those tax returns before they decide who our nominee ought to be.
All right, Bob, now before I get your reaction, Donald Trump tweeted, what else? Mitt Romney, who was one of the dumbest and worst candidates in the history of Republican politics, is now pushing me on tax returns. Dope. Romney tweeted, methinks the Donald doth protest too much. It's a little Shakespeare there. Show voters your back taxes at real Donald Trump. Hashtag what is he hiding? Now, I also heard an interview that Donald Trump did on CNN yesterday where he said that his taxes are very, very complicated. But could something like this possibly, we've been saying this for the last 6 months, and I don't have any insights into it. But could something like this hurt Donald Trump if it comes out that he's not paying a lot in taxes or even paying nominal taxes?
I think so. I mean, certainly it hurt Romney when Harry Reid was suggesting that there was something nefarious in Mitt Romney's taxes in 2012. I think this attack is very interesting. It shows that Romney is clearly not a Donald Trump fan. And Rubio has said that he has emailed back and forth with Romney. So maybe we're getting closer to a Romney endorsement of Rubio. There was a report out that that was going to happen, and then that was denied. But clearly, Mitt Romney, who appeared at a press conference with Donald Trump in 2012. That was very awkward. But he felt like he needed Donald Trump's support, and also, not only that, doing a press conference on it. I think this is Romney's effort to derail Trump. I think it could hurt Trump, but remember, Cruz and Rubio have to put out their taxes. Cruz said last night that he would. Could it hurt him? Yeah, but Donald Trump has been able to withstand a lot of punches. I mean, basically, he's gone wire to wire since late July. He's been winning this thing, so I don't think just the taxes is going to kill his chances.
Is Romney's involvement now, though, Bob, is it a sign from panic here from the establishment?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Donald Trump picked up 2 congressional endorsements. Those were his first congressional endorsements, where Jeb Bush and Rubio have dozens of congressional endorsements. They don't really matter this year. The playbook, really just political playbook, throw it out this year. It doesn't apply. But I think, without a doubt, the establishment is worried. Why? Because the Senate is up for grabs. And if you talk to Republicans privately, they say, listen, we could lose the Senate. And who knows? The Democrats are getting more bullish about their chances of winning the House if Donald Trump is at the top of the ticket. But everything is very unpredictable. The pundits have been wrong repeatedly. So any predictions you hear, you just got to think, well, they've been kind of wrong the whole time.
Ain't that the truth?
For sure. Bob Cusack in Washington. Bob, thanks so much.
Thank you.